Imagine that you fall out of love with your husband. Yeah, to the newlywed, it's almost like, nah, that cannot happen. But it does happen. It's a terrible thing, a terrible feeling, but it happens. And so, if you're in that shoe, what do? Let me help you. Don't go away. Hello, my name is Pauline. I bring you tips and secrets to your relationship issues. Yeah, the very desperate issues. It's what I talk about. In this edition, I'm going to help that person who is falling out of love with their spouse. So that said, I want us to first of all understand why people fall out of love. And I'm going to give you a few of them. One, an ex-boyfriend might have surfaced. And the reason why an ex-boyfriend would surface and then it will affect what you're feeling for the spouse is because the energy that was formed when you got into that relationship with that boyfriend it was stronger than what you've been able to build with your spouse, with your husband. You get it? So that is one reason. A surfaces and what you had with A is much stronger than what you have with B. B being your husband. Another reason is that the things that you thought were going to change in your husband have not changed. They might have gotten worse, Sometimes some character traits, in the course of courtship or dating, it pops up and you're hoping that no, everything is going to change in the course of the marriage. And then it doesn't change. The guy is still there with maybe his nasty habits, maybe he's dirty, maybe he's unkempt, maybe he's not orderly, maybe he lacks some, body hygiene and stuff, and then or has some other habits that you thought were going to go away or that you thought you could change. You see, and then you've been in the marriage and it's not happening. So the things that you were hanging on to are getting out of sight. You see, so now you're falling out of passion. By the way, we don't really fall out of love per se, we fall out of passion. And the reason is because when emotions bond, okay, when people have that connection, that mental bonding, emotional bonding with each other, if you want to call it chemistry, yeah. When people have that, energy is being formed. And that energy settles in your subconscious. It doesn't die. So we cannot say you're fallen out of love. Rather, it will be appropriate to say you're fallen out of passion. Because what's happening is that, and when you talk about falling out of passion, you talk about the attraction. The chemistry is no longer there. The things that ignited that energy are no longer in sight. When the relationship has already gone, like when we've seen the bad, the ugly, because most of the time we're interacting with the good when the whole passion thing is up and bubbly. We're interacting with the good, the sweet, and we see a teeny bits of the ugly, but we can ignore it because the good is bigger. The focus is there. The passion has formed the energy that keeps us attracted to each other. And because of that, the presence of that energy helps us to see more of the things that are in line with it or inclined to it. So everything that's aligned to it, like you see the guy, everything is bubbly, yeah, he looks just perfect, he talks perfect, he walks perfect, until when everything gets rolling and then you're like, I don't like the way you walk, I don't like the way you dress, I don't, but it's not like the person changed dressing. It's just that back then those things were not really important because the things you were looking at were bigger than what he used to wear, how he used to walk, how he used to talk. So we don't really fall out of love. We fall out of passion. Yes. And the energy is there. It's there like a dead plant. You get it? But if you should ever find yourself again in an environment where that supports the growth or that's conducive for that dead plant to come back to life, it comes back to life. You see that? That's what I'm saying. We don't fall out of love. If you reignite it, it's going to come back. So there's hope. The third thing that could probably happen will be that the promises that this other person made have not been fulfilled. So it feels like you've been living in a sham. What this person said they're going to do for you, or who they said they were going to become, that gave you the motivation, to make the decision. they haven't done it. And then, you're feeling like, no, you're wasting your life, you're wasting your time and all of that. And then reason number 5 is change of status. Sometimes you might have built some kind of bond with somebody, and then you got married to that person. And then life happens and your status changes. Maybe it got way uplifted. And then the other person still feels, you look at the other person because of your new circle of interaction now. This other person doesn't look like they can fit into it. So now, because you're interacting with a different set of people, you're giving room for yourself to build. You're building more attachment on this other side. And because of that, you start to lose sight of the things that made you stay with that person or made you marry that person. And when that happens, you start to fall out of passion. Remember again, you don't fall out of love. You fall out of passion. And everything I'm talking about, I'll put a link in the description below for you, for those who like to read. If you want to know more, click the links. I've put stuff there for you to read, get to know. Knowledge is power. You want to know what's happening, know how things happen, so that you can enjoy the life you have. Now that we know, and by the way, these are some of the reasons. I cannot exhaust them. It's a full list. You understand? I cannot exhaust them, but these are some of the core reasons why people fall out of passion. Now let's look at what you should be doing if you found yourself in that situation. I'm talking to those people who still feel that something can be done, and I'm like, yes, something can be done. Like I said in the beginning, if you ever felt anything for that person, then know that you have not lost it. You have just not given it room to grow. And you have lost sight of the things that brought it into existence in the first place. And so what you want to do is get back into that space where you can start to see those things again. And that's what I'm going to help you with. So point number 1, rekindle that energy by giving it room, providing a conducive environment for it to resurface. And how do you put yourself in that space where that environment that is conducive for that energy to resurface and start to expand? It's by connection, body connection. I'm talking about mindful touching. Touch helps the body, the brain, to produce oxytocin, which is also considered as the love hormone. It's like the hormone that the body produces to bond, to connect with others. You understand? It helps you feel compassion. It helps you to build the bond with others. Get it? Think of when a child is born and they take the baby and put on the mommy's chest. Think about when somebody is sick, and then they hold the person's hands, and you can even feel the warmth in their blood. You can just hold the hands, and you feel the warmth in them, and you know that there's some response between that touch and the heart and all of that. So you want to get into a lot of mindful touching. Here are some examples of mindful touching. Number 1, that's the holding of hands. I'm talking about those moments where, in the comfort of your space, right? Those moments when your husband is sitting maybe on the couch doing something, or maybe he's working on something, or maybe whatever he's doing, just go hold this person. Okay? In the beginning, they may resist you, because if you're falling out of love, then probably you've been cold in a way, or so they are not very sure about what's happening. So they may resist you. But if you have the goal, if your goal is to get things going back, then you should focus on the goal, not on the response, because you will eventually get that person to respond to you the way you want it. Another part of mindful touching you want to practice is kissing. Don't let a day go by without kissing your spouse. Understand? Do it. If you walk into the house, do it. Especially in our African settings, we have this impression that no, we are not very expressive of emotions. Yet we are enjoying what some other person is doing outside. You get it? You feel like this other person is not doing enough, or you are not this kind of person. Yet If someone was doing it to you outside, you'll be enjoying it, which just tells us that we all like it. We do. So don't deny yourself the opportunity to experience it. If your spouse isn't coming forth with it, go for it. You want a hug? Go get it. You want to be kissed? Go get it. You want to touch or hold hands? Go get it. Someone has to be the initiator. Another mindful touching experience or thing you can incorporate from this very day is hugging. Hug, hug this person. Put your chest on the person, put your head on the person's chest, or put his head on your chest. Hug him. You get it? Hugging also contributes. You know that body contact, it helps the production of this hormone I talked about, the oxytocin. It also provides you with comfort, assurance. It makes the environment look like a safe place to live in. Another thing you want to do is when you go to bed at night, don't go with clothes. Give your body access to the other person's body. Now let's understand something. This is not sex. This is not about sex. Okay? I'm not talking about the intercourse. I'm talking about that moment of body chest to chest contact, body contact. You understand? You just want to hold that person. Like I said in the beginning, there will be resistance. It could be from you because you're feeling the icky kind of feeling, like I no longer feel this thing for this person. How can I do this? But remember your goal, your intention, and relax and let it happen. And if it is the other person that's begin to resist you, it's okay. It has to happen. In the beginning, it has to happen. But don't give up. And watch the miracle happen. Watch yourself start to see the things that you had lost sight of. Watch yourself start to feel the compassion that you felt when both of you started. Just because of that bodily contact, you will be amazed at how much transformation you can bring into your own. And then now, let's look at, aside mindful touching, what else can you do? Create room to miss this person. This is where business principles come into action. Scarcity. Okay? Apply psychology of scarcity in your home. Don't be too available. Do something with your time. If you're always in the presence of this person and you don't have other things that your mind is supposed to be working and expanding on, all your mind will do is expand on what you've given it, and it's that person. Because the energy you're feeling now is that you're falling out of passion. And so everything you see is going to be in alignment with that energy that you have inside of you. You get it? But if you when you start reigniting the passion back, the things you start to see are the things that are in alignment with it. You get it? So you want to bring yourself back into that space. Like I said, you can do it. As you're watching the video, remember you can share with your friends. Let's keep the ministry growing. Share with your friends. Thank you so much for all those that have been sharing, liking, and subscribing. Thank you. I appreciate you all. And share. Let's help other women, because there's so much going on out there. Let's help. Let's spread the word. Share it with your friends. There's so many people out there who really need to hear this, who need the help. If you are not in that space, don't think that your friend is not there. Don't assume that your friend is not in it. Share, because sometimes they are going through it, but they just can't, the fear of being judged will make people keep stuff to themselves. But in their minds, that's what they're experiencing. They're falling out of love. And share this video because it can help them get their lives back into that place of bubbly and shine. And let's keep the ministry growing. For this is more than just a channel. It is a ministry. Take care. Bye.